Did you even know it's day one of a Fed meeting? I know I just mentioned it with these guys, but our next guest thinks it's definitely worth remembering. With interest rates already close or at zero, we're going to find out what else the Fed has up its sleeve tomorrow. Joining us now from Reno, Nevada, Gerald O'Driscoll. He's former vice president at the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, also senior fellow at the Cato Institute. Good to see you, Gerald. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Liz.
People are saying all around us, oh, this Fed meeting doesn't matter. We're still at zero. You tell me why it matters.
Well, I mean, it matters because the Fed is going to have to start articulating its exit strategy, and I know they're thinking about it, and they're no longer saying this is all going to unwind naturally, but whether they're prepared to discuss it and put it in the minutes now, or we have to wait another meeting or whatever, that's what we should begin to be looking at now.
What are you going to specifically listen to as far as those minutes are concerned? Comments on inflation, deflation, or any kind of sign whether they'd start to tighten at some point?
Well, I think they'll start nuancing their statements about the risks of inflation versus deflation. So it's really going to be nuance, I think, for a time.
Nuance. Okay, so if we hear about nuance, and that means not an outright, oh, we're seeing inflation, what is the point that we will find ourselves at where we do start to believe that the Fed will once again start to tighten rates? Or do you think that's so far out at this point we don't even have to worry about it?
Well, I mean, I guess it's your time horizon. It's not this month, it's not next month. Might not be before the end of the year, but it might very well be before the end of the year that they're going to have to start thinking about it, start signaling more clearly. But I think it's words and nuance at this point.
I should talk about all of the political swirlings regarding the Fed. And we have, of course, Representative Ron Paul trying to pass a resolution to give additional control over the Federal Reserve to Congress. What do you think about that? Is that sort of an outlier, radical concept on behalf of a guy who's been known to definitely not necessarily march to the beat of everybody else's drum?
Well, yeah, he marches to his own beat, but other people are marching to his beat for the first time. And I don't consider congressional control over an agency of the importance of the Fed, enhanced control and more transparency, I don't consider that a radical idea at all.
So you don't think that that would then slow things up? You know, we have a lot of regulation coming our way, at least it appears that way, specifically looking at banking, and some people are digging in their heels and cringing at that. We shouldn't, with overseeing the Fed a little bit more closely?
Oh, I think so. They've taken on all sorts of duties and responsibilities. Arguably, they've taken over part of fiscal policy, and that has to be carried out in the light of day. So if they don't like the call for greater transparency and accountability, then they have to rethink what they're doing.
Jerry O'Driscoll, great to see you. Thank you for joining us in Reno with the purple sky behind you. That looks fabulous.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. Thank you.
Jerry's a former Fed insider at the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. He's now a senior fellow at the Cato Institute.